As a medic and a content creator, creating content, managing social media alongside running meta ads for businesses, especially the pharmaceutical businesses that want to grow online and increase their sales online, I've come to appreciate the power of podcasts. In the recent days, I've been shooting head talking videos. They are pretty awesome when it comes to educating, product highlight, service, talking about your services. But I did challenge myself to add a podcast to my clients' content delivery styles. I just finished the very first episode. I shot the first episode, edited it, uploaded it on YouTube, cut it into shorts, uploaded it on TikTok, and the response was overwhelming. Here are two things that I've really appreciated about podcasts that I wish I learned earlier on. I will also share with you my simple setup that I'm going to be using to shoot this podcast here. So let's begin off. Number one, when you start shooting podcasts for your clients, you are giving your clients an opportunity to share more about their brands, to share more about their ideas, to share more about their personality. And these kind of conversations are likely going to be longer than the usual head talking videos. For example, the very first episode that I shot with my client, we shot a podcast of more than an hour long. After editing, it was around 59 minutes. That is a long podcast. Number two, this long podcast, the words or the message you're talking about is not scripted. It is raw. You're talking from your mind. You're talking from your soul. So literally, you're communicating authentically. It's an authentic message to your audience. And there is nothing that is easily going to attract someone than you being yourself, answering questions authentically without reading from a script. So I have come to appreciate that podcasts can give your client an opportunity to grow their bases or to grow their audiences online, but attracting genuinely interested people. The brand is going to attract genuinely interested people. In those podcasts, you're going to be talking about, your services, your products, and by the end of the day, you may not attract everyone, but those that are going to join you or they're going to stick in, they're genuinely interested, and it will be very easy for them to convert into buying customers. Number two, as a beginner in this industry, being a creative, I understand flexibility is one requirement or one advantage you should have. So head talking videos, anyone can do that. AI is doing that. Podcast is something that is slowly taking over an industry, a new style of delivery, and I just want to be flexible now so that maybe down the road, 6 months from now, if I onboard another client and for them they are only interested in podcasts, I'm able to serve their needs. Number three, as a creative who is at the same time full-time working as a dispenser and also managing other side hustles, podcasts give you an opportunity to create content ahead. For example, if you shoot one long episode for that week, upload it on YouTube, it's the very podcast that you're going to cut down into maybe up to 10 different shorts. And if you can only assign 2 shorts per day for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, the week is fully covered. So it's another way of maximizing content, repurposing, as well as creating time for yourself as a creator to do other important stuff. Now, let me share with you the setup that I use to shoot this podcast here. Perhaps if you are starting out in digital marketing or creating content for brands, this could be an inspiration for you. Number one are my tripod stands. I use between 3 to 4 different tripod stands depending on the need. For this particular shoot, I use 3 different tripod stands. The number one tripod stand is my primary tripod, which holds my primary camera. The second one is the one that holds my light. It's supposed to be a camera tripod stand, but as you know, being flexible and being budget-minded, I turned it into a tripod stand that holds my light, my primary light. The third small tripod stand helps me also sometimes hold my light to take out the shadows, but in this particular podcast here, it helped me hold my secondary camera or my second angle, that is my phone. And number two, is lighting. So normally on such an occasion, I take between 3 to 4 different lights to be able to maximize lighting, because I understand how important lighting is when it comes to videography. So I use a stronger primary light and also integrate these other RGB lights to be able to get good background light, as well as few lights that are able to take away or remove any harsh shadows. Number 3 is audio. Audio is very, very paramount. Actually, at some point I was scared to shoot podcasts because I haven't invested in good, high quality audio equipment. But nevertheless, I challenged myself to use what I have and come up with this podcast, which actually worked. So with audio, I did use my Rode microphone. This is a wired microphone that has 2 different heads, so more like an interview session. It serves well. It has its own advantages and disadvantages as well. On the advantages, given that it has a long wire, number 1, you are able to stand in a distance but still get clear audio, since it is connected from the device to the subject talking through a wire, so there are no cuts through the audio or the sound. When it comes to the disadvantages side, of course, it being wired sometimes could be more like a disadvantage or make it difficult for you to move around. And this opens up a question whether to invest in a wireless microphone. Now, that is a very good thing. Actually, I've tried out wireless microphones, but guess what? You can only be satisfied with wireless microphones if you go for the high-end microphones, the likes of Holland. So I did purchase a small wireless mic back then, but it was disappointing. It was around 80,000 Ghana shillings, but still it wasn't performing to my expectations. Audio is being cut in between. It's never clear. Sound, noise cancellation is not good. So if you really need the wireless mic, you may end up spending close to 700,000 to get a good Holland mic. This one here, since it is wired with a sponge on the 2 heads and close to the mouth, you find that you're getting clean audio that has no even sound, because they're able to cancel the sound or the noise in the background. Number 4 is camera setup. So for this podcast here, I used 2 different cameras. That is my main camera, the Sony A7S, as well as my smartphone. This is the Samsung Note 20 Ultra. Now, I am aware podcasts are supposed to be shot on up to 3 different or even more camera shots or camera angles, but at my current stage and current level of growth, I have these 2 cameras, and I hope they'll be able to bring out something good until maybe down the road be able to upgrade to a new or a 3rd angle. My Sony camera sits on the main tripod stand as my primary camera, and then the secondary angle from my smartphone is held on this small tripod stand here. In this particular episode, I did shoot. The main primary camera was my smartphone, and then the secondary camera focusing on my subject was the camera itself. But I think after realizing that the camera has way better picture, I want to challenge myself to create or to shoot on the camera for the primary footage, and then the secondary footage will be on the phone. So that is it. It's a simple setup. Maybe with the camera it could be a bit expensive, but nevertheless, even with your smartphone, you can still be able to create a podcast and clean it up using any of the softwares you use for editing, and still be able to help your clients reach wider audiences, share authentic messages. So with that said, if you want to see me create a creative agency here in Uganda that helps brands, pharmaceutical brands and other businesses grow online, stick around. Don't forget to follow, like this video, and peace. See you in the next one.